All right, thanks, guys. The Nets take on the Philadelphia 76ers. That's going to be a 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off at the Wells Fargo Center. Philadelphia is -8, total 227.5. Now, when it comes to this ball game here, there's a couple shops that don't even have a line for this game. But I want to let you know that Joel Embiid, he's averaging 27 points per contest, 14 boards a game. Toby Harris, 19 points a game, 8 boards per contest. And obviously Jimmy Butler, you're always going to get production out of him when he's on the court. 19 points a game and 5 rebounds out of him. Now Brooklyn, they're just 2-4 straight up in their last 6. They lost by 12 and 16 points in 2 of those 4 losses in that stretch. When it comes to the total, Brooklyn's given up 114 points or more in 4 out of their last 6. So with all that in mind, no, it's a little bit different way of capping the game. But just wanted you to kind of take a look at those things and really get in depth and just kind of have a little bit different angle. But Philadelphia has been great at home, especially straight up and against the spread. So I'm going to lean Philadelphia -8, getting the job done against the number in the over 227.5 in that matchup there. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Thursday's action. Before we get into that, just want to quickly remind you to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, we haven't been setting the world on fire, but we are doing very well in a couple different categories. So that's a part of that free content. Just hop on patreon.com/BrockPage. And like I said, there's a bunch of different tiers. The best friends tier and the personal touch tier actually doing pretty strong as of the past couple of weeks. So anyway, feel free to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. Link is in the description section below. A lot of great content there as well. So go ahead and check that website out. All right, let's go ahead and hop back into some more lines of personal leans. As always, all starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got Magic at the Pistons, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Detroit. The Pistons open the betting as the 4-point favorite, total at 206. Now, since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing movement downward on the spread. A half-a-point fade of Detroit when it comes to the number there. And we're actually seeing movement upward on the total. Half-a-point move upward to 207. So once again, the Pistons open -4 down to -3.5. Total open 206.5 up to 207. 51% of the consensus is leaning toward Orlando. 72% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Magic +130 on the money line. Now, if you like the Magic in this matchup here, that number might get a little bit worse for you as we're seeing them take money. The consensus is on them. And they're also 1-4 against the number in their last 5 on the road. They also rank 27th in road offensive scoring. They're 0-3 against the number taking on Detroit this year. And they've dropped 6 out of their last 7 in the Motor City. Now the Pistons on the other side, they're 6-1 ATS in their last 7. They're covering 62% of their games at the current number, and they are 19-12 against the spread when laying the points. Now total-wise, Detroit is 4-2 to the over in their last 6, 2-1 to the over, taking on Orlando this season. So a little bit of chalk here. I'm also going to purchase the hook, slide it down, and take Detroit -3, getting the job done against the spread at home in the over 207 in that matchup there. Next game, Raptors, Knicks, 7:30 Eastern tip-off at Madison Square Garden. Toronto opened the betting as the 11.5-point favorite, total at 215 and a hook. And since those markets opened this one up, we are seeing movement on both the spread and the total. We're seeing a half-a-point move toward Toronto when it comes to the spread, half-a-point move upward to -12. We're also seeing movement upward on the total That was a 1.5-point move up to 217. So once again, the Raptors opened 11.5 up to -12. Total opened 215.5 up to 217 even. Now Kawhi Leonard is inactive tonight. He is out, not playing. And OG Anunoby is questionable for the Raptors as well. Now for the Knicks on the other side, they're a little bit banged up as well. Noah Vonleh is questionable. Dennis Smith is questionable. Knox is questionable. Trier is out. And Tilakina looks like he was projected to get back in the mix this week. He is out tonight as well. The Knicks, they failed to cover in 5 out of their last 6. They're also just 1-12 straight up in their last 13. They're 14-60 overall for the season. No wonder Charles Oakley was so testy at the beginning of the year and getting kicked out of MSG. But anyway, total-wise, the Knicks are 80% to the over in their last 5. Toronto 8-2 to the over in their last 10. Give me the chalk. I'll take Toronto -12 in the over 217 in that matchup there. Next game, Mavs Heat. I turned the page and didn't need to. Mavs Heat, 7:30 Eastern tip-off in South Beach. Miami opened the betting as the 8-point favorite, total at 209. Seeing movement in this one, both on the spread and the total. Downward in both areas, 7.5 and 208 and a hook. So once again, Miami open -8, down to -7.5. Total open 209, down to 208 and a hook. 59% of the consensus is leaning toward the Heat. 72% shaded toward the over. Right now, Dallas is plus 250 on the money line. Now, if you like Dallas in this matchup here, Miami is a little bit banged up. They have Winslow and Richardson both listed as questionable for tonight's action. And Magruder's out. He's not playing. Having said that, though, Miami is 9-4 straight up in their last 13. 4-2 ATS in their last 6. They rank 3rd in the NBA in points allowed and 2nd in defensive field goal percentage. Now, the Mavs on the other side, they've dropped 4 out of their last 5. They're also 2-8 straight up in their last 10. Dallas ranks 25th in the NBA in offensive field goal percentage. They're also 2-11 straight up in their last 13. They dropped 9 out of their last 10 when traveling. And when it comes to the scoring, Miami's 3-2 to the over in their last 5. Dallas 4-2 to the over in their last 6. Give me the Miami Heat -7 after buying the 0.5 point. And the over 208 and a hook in that matchup there. Next game, Sac, New Orleans. It's going to be an 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off in New Orleans. And anyway, for those asking about my friend who I told you was his untimely demise came in New Orleans a couple weeks ago. We were friends. I had lost touch with him over the past couple of years, but we had done events together about 7 years back. We did events together for about 2 years, but good friend at the time. We lost contact, but great guy, and very bizarre story. But anyway, I will not get into that because I don't want to get into those particulars because YouTube's a very weird place, and people try to locate you and divulge your personal info on you. It's very bizarre, so I won't get into the particulars about that. But anyway, very strange story I had for you the other day. I will not elaborate. But anyway, good friend of mine murdered in New Orleans not too long ago. Very strange. But anyway, Sacramento at New Orleans, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off in the Big Easy. Sacramento opened the betting as the 2.5 point favorite, total at 238 and a hook. Not a whole lot of movement on this one. Sacramento remains 2.5. Total moved up to 239. Anthony Davis, he's questionable. So that's probably why you're not seeing a whole lot of action right now. Although those tipsters out there who has they have the inside information, they probably know what his status is. And that's where you're going to see the action before anybody else. those guys with that inside info. But Anthony Davis listed as questionable for tonight's action. New Orleans is 1-9 against the spread in their last 10. They've dropped 9 out of their last 10 straight up as well. Sacramento on the other side, 7-3 against the number in their last 10 on the road. They rank third in road three-point shooting. When it comes to total, Sacramento is 3-1 of the under in their last 4. So with all that in mind, I got to lean toward the road dog in this one. Give me Sacramento +3 after buying the half a point and the under 239 in that matchup there. Next game, Nuggets-Rockets, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Houston. And one thing real quick, I know that a lot of folks asked to post the picks in the comments section below. I'm cool with that. I got no problem with that. If you want to go ahead and post whatever I end up picking in the comment section, that's fine. I know that people ask for it in the comment section because there's a good amount of viewers who do not speak English or really even read it. So it's very, very helpful to a global audience. If you don't have to post the picks in the comment section, but if you do, it's okay. It's cool because it allows more of a global audience who doesn't understand what I'm saying to really understand the picks. So for those who've been posting the picks in the comment section, keep up the good work. I really appreciate that. And no harm, no foul. Keep doing what you're doing. All right. Anyway, Denver at Houston, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off at the Toyota Center. The Rockets opened 5.5, total 218.5. We're seeing movement downward on the spread and downward on the total as well. -5 and 218 now. So once again, the Rockets open 5.5 down to -5. Total open 218.5 down to 218 even. 56% are leaning Houston, 67% shaded toward the over. The Nuggets are +175 on the money line. Malik Beasley is listed as questionable for Denver. Meanwhile, Houston has Green and Fareed both out for tonight. Houston is 14-3 straight up in their last 17, 4-2 ATS in their last 6. The Rockets rank 7th in home scoring, 6th in defending the 3-ball, and they are 61% against the spread, taking on teams over 550. Denver on the other side, just 37% against the number in their games played at the current point spread. They failed to cover in 2 out of their last 3, taking on Houston. Now, when it comes to total, Denver is 2-1 to the over, taking on the Rockets, and Houston is 21-16 to the over at the Toyota Center. So I'm going to lean Houston -5 in the over 218 in that matchup there. Next game, Clippers-Bucks, 8 o'clock tip-off in Milwaukee. Milwaukee opened 8.5, total 233. Not a whole lot of movement in this one. Just a half a point move downward on the total. So once again, Milwaukee's 8.5, total open 233 down to 232.5. 54% are leaning Clippers, 68% shaded toward the over. Right now, Los Angeles is +305 for an outright win. Now, Patrick Beverley is listed as questionable for the Clippers. Landry Shamet is also questionable for LA. Meanwhile, on the Milwaukee side, we have Snell, who's listed as out, and Mirotic and Brogdon still out indefinitely. Milwaukee's still just spectacular. They've got an incredible roster. They're 31-6 straight up on their home court, 24-13 against the spread in that same category. The Clippers on the other side, they rank 23rd in points allowed, 20th in defensive rebounding, and they are covering just 40% of their games at the current number. Now, total-wise, LA's 5-2 to the under in their last 7 on the road. Milwaukee, 80% to the under in their last 5 themselves. I'm going to lean Milwaukee -8 after buying the hook and the under 232.5 in that matchup there. Next and final game for our NBA slate. It is going to be Cleveland, San Antonio, 8:30 tip-off in Texas. The Spurs open -12, total 219.5. And if you ever meet somebody from Texas, they'll tell you before you even make your pleasantries. Texas, Texas, Texas. Somebody from Texas, 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 Texas. It's all about Texas. But anyway, since those markets open this one up, I got a lot of friends in Texas, by the way. Just letting you know that. San Antonio is now -13. That spread moved up. Total moved downward to 218. So once again, San Antonio open -12 up to -13. Total open 219.5 down to down to 218. So let's go ahead and try that again as I blast my friends from Texas. But they'll let you know that they're from Texas, and Texas is the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's better than anything. They could totally secede from the U.S., from the world, and be completely sufficient. And they'll tell you that. Anyways, San Antonio open -12 up to -13. Total open 219.5 down to 218 even. 62% are leaning San Antonio, 78% shaded toward the over. San Antonio 29-8 straight up at home, 24-13 against the spread in that same category. Cleveland just 3-7 straight up in their last 10. They rank dead last in defensive field goal percentage. Total-wise, San Antonio 70% to the under in their last 10. Hey, God bless Texas. I got to go with my guys. Give me San Antonio -13 and the under 218 in that matchup there. Next and final.